Ever heard of laws so bizarre they make you question reality? Illinois didn't come here to play when it comes to bizarre legalities. Pack your things and let's explore this together. You won't believe these are actual laws. Illinois, home of Abraham Lincoln, deep dish pizza, and apparently a secret collection of head-scratching laws that will leave you speechless. While the state is famous for its innovation and rich history, its law books seem to have taken a sharp left turn into the land of, wait, what? Today, we're uncovering the quirkiest laws in Illinois, laws that somehow managed to sneak into the rulebook and stay there. But here's the challenge. Can you figure out why these were ever written? Let's find out. Here's the thing about laws. They're supposed to make sense, right? They're meant to protect us, ensure fairness, and keep things orderly. But sometimes laws age like milk, leaving us with rules that are confusing at best and downright hilarious at worst. Illinois is no exception. Why were they created? And why are they still here? Let's dive in. First stop, Evanston, Illinois, a city known for its charm. But lurking in its legal code is a rule that raises eyebrows. Changing clothes in your car is strictly against the law. But here's the twist. If you're a woman, the law makes an oddly specific exception. Only if you're slipping into a swimsuit. Strange, right? What led to this peculiar regulation? Was it a scandalous summer incident that left lawmakers scrambling to restore order? Perhaps an overzealous effort to preserve modesty during the 1950s, when social norms were as rigid as the starched collars of the era. The context remains unclear, locked away in history, but the law persists. The specificity of this exception sparks questions. Why swimsuits? Why women only? The lack of explanation leaves the door wide open for speculation, and perhaps that's the most baffling part. It's as if the law teases us with a story we'll never fully uncover, leaving modern residents wondering about its true purpose. While this regulation might seem like a harmless quirk today, it serves as a fascinating reminder of how laws can reflect the values, fears, and peculiarities of the times in which they were created. One thing's for sure, Evanston knows how to keep us guessing. In the Windy City, where deep dish pizza reigns supreme and hot dogs are a work of art, there's a little-known law lurking in the municipal code, ready to ruin your dreams of napping next to a fresh batch of croissants. According to Chapter 7-38-555 of Chicago's Municipal Code, it's illegal to sleep in any workroom of a bakery, kitchen, creamery, cheese factory, or anywhere food is prepared or sold. In short, if there's dough rising, you'd better not be dozing. As bizarre as it sounds, this ordinance is all about keeping food establishments squeaky clean. The logic? Snoozing near your souffle could introduce unwanted contaminants, like stray hairs, germs, or a regrettable snoring soundtrack. While no one knows exactly when this law was baked into the books, it's part of Chicago's long-standing commitment to public health. So, next time you're eyeing that cozy corner of a bakery, dreaming of curling up next to a warm batch of cinnamon rolls, think twice. In Chicago, the only thing that should be resting in a food prep area is the dough. Aurora, Illinois may seem like an ordinary city, but tucked away in its history is one of the most curious legal quirks you'll ever hear about. There's a law that reportedly bans taking a French poodle to the opera. At first glance, it's easy to dismiss this as pure urban legend, but the sheer absurdity of it makes you stop and wonder, why would such a law exist? Could it be the remnants of a particularly chaotic evening where a poodle brought more drama than the opera itself? Did a diva demand silence, only to be outperformed by a howling canine in the audience? This curious restriction paints a vivid picture of a time when societal norms and legal decisions were worlds apart from today's reality. Perhaps it was a preventative measure, a precaution against unruly pets interrupting the sophistication of an opera night. Or maybe, just maybe, it's a reflection of an era when poodles and posh outings collided in unexpected ways. What's even stranger is how such a law could have stayed on the books, a silent witness to a bygone era of strict decorum. It's an oddity that keeps Aurora's charm alive, leaving everyone wondering, what really happened to spark such a rule? In Normal, Illinois, there exists a law so peculiar, it almost feels like a twisted punchline. It's illegal to make faces at dogs. But how did such an odd rule come into existence? Was there a specific incident where someone's exaggerated expressions spooked a dog into attacking? Or was it the result of an uproarious public debate over animal rights, with one particularly passionate lawmaker taking it a step too far? The bizarre nature of this law raises more questions than answers. Could it be an outdated remnant from a time when people believed certain facial gestures could disturb animals? Or was it an attempt to maintain peace and harmony between humans and pets, preventing unnecessary chaos on the streets? Whatever the reasoning, it's a reminder that sometimes the strangest laws emerge from the most unexpected places, and Normal, Illinois, is certainly no exception to this wild phenomenon. In the shadowy pre-dawn hours along Chicago's lakefront, an angler clad in cozy pajamas casts a line into the tranquil waters. Unbeknownst to many, this simple act defies a peculiar city ordinance that prohibits fishing in sleepwear, a law reportedly dating back to at least 1964, as noted by the Chicago Tribune. The origins of this unusual regulation remain shrouded in mystery. Was it enacted to prevent drowsy fishermen from endangering themselves on the breakwaters, or perhaps to uphold a certain decorum in public spaces? The true intent has been lost to time, leaving modern residents to ponder the rationale behind such a specific prohibition. While enforcement today is unlikely, this obscure law serves as a curious reminder of the city's evolving relationship with its cherished waterfront activities. In Urbana, Illinois, there's a law that targets one of the most controversial fashion trends in recent history: saggy pants. On the surface, it seems like an attempt to keep public spaces looking proper, but the law's implications go far beyond a simple dress code. The origins of this rule are tied to the rise of hip-hop culture in the 1990s, a time when sagging pants became a symbol of rebellion and personal expression. But what's more intriguing is how this law ignited fierce debates about freedom. Freedom to express one's identity through fashion versus the authority of the state to control public appearance. Did this law represent a well-meaning push for decency, or was it an overstep into the personal lives of residents? In a city known for its college spirit and youthful energy, it's hard not to wonder how this law ever made it this far, and if it's still relevant today. Oh, and let's not forget Galesburg's infamous "no speaking English on the street" law. Now, I know what you're thinking. How could something like this even make it onto the books? Was it some kind of political statement, or maybe an attempt to foster cultural unity? Or perhaps it was just a result of a misunderstood ordinance that spiraled out of control. The mystery surrounding this law begs the question: how did it get passed in the first place? And why does it still exist, even if no one seems to enforce it? Was there a time when Galesburg's streets were filled with linguistic chaos, with people arguing over languages, and lawmakers decided to step in? Or was this law a mere relic of a forgotten era, a time when different linguistic tensions might have led to such a curious decision? The truth is elusive, but the idea that a town could attempt to control language in such an arbitrary way adds a whole new level of intrigue. What was the intention behind this bizarre law? Why is it still a part of Galesburg's legal landscape today? And, more importantly, who still remembers this absurd piece of legislation? Now, here's where things get mind-boggling. These laws didn't just pop up overnight. They were debated, passed, and enforced at some point in Illinois' history. Behind every bizarre law is a story, a slice of the social norms, fears, or quirks of the era it came from. Sure, some of these seem completely irrelevant today, but they once meant something to someone. What does that say about us, about our priorities, and about how society evolves? Illinois' quirky laws are more than just head-scratchers. They're a mirror reflecting the past. As weird as these laws are, they're also oddly fascinating. They remind us that what seems normal now could be laughable tomorrow. Who knows? Maybe in 100 years, people will look back at our current laws and think, they banned plastic straws, but kept cheese spray legal. It's a humbling reminder of how society shifts and evolves. So, have these laws piqued your curiosity yet? Think you've heard it all? Think again. Illinois' legal rabbit hole goes even deeper. There are surely more oddities hiding in the shadows. If you know of any other wild laws from the Prairie State, drop them in the comments below. And hey, if you're up for more legislative laughs, stick around for our next dive into the world of outrageous laws. Like, share, and subscribe to this channel for your weekly dose of the bizarre and unexpected. Until next time, keep questioning the rules, because you never know what you might discover.